education is in a crisis in our country.
Hello, I'm Judge Midge Rendell, First Lady of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And I want to thank you for letting me take this opportunity to talk to you about something that is near and dear to my heart, and I think is actually near and dear to your hearts, although you may not realize it. I want to talk to you today about educating our children to become good citizens. Until the recent presidential election, participation in government by the people of our country was on the decline. The historic election of Barack Obama brought out voters in numbers not seen for decades. We must continue this momentum by getting as many people as possible involved in the future of our great nation. Our democracy is a precious gift that we must cherish and safeguard. It is threatened more by our own apathy than it is by any outside force. We've all heard the story of the woman accosting Benjamin Franklin after the close of the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia. She asked what kind of government he had given us. Franklin replied, "A republic, madam, if you can keep it." Well, keeping it involves something more than just living in our democracy. It requires an appreciation of what we have and an understanding that we must teach future generations about its importance. I must admit that I myself, although a lawyer and a judge, had taken our democracy for granted until I presided over a naturalization ceremony. Looking out on the 100 faces of the new citizens with their joyful expressions made me wonder anew about our country. I realized that this doesn't happen anywhere else. We're privileged in America, and our form of government is the envy of the world. What is it that makes our country free and its people equal under the law? What is it that gives us the economic prosperity that enables us to be a land of opportunity? It is our democratic form of government with its checks and balances, as written by our founding fathers in the Constitution, that we enjoy. Our form of government involves the sharing of power among the three branches and the knowledge that a stable judiciary will enforce the rights of the people and the limitations on government. Our tendency is to think that this is really no big deal. But it is a big deal that during the era of segregation, the United States Supreme Court overturned earlier rulings dating back to 1896 and declared that separate educational facilities are inherently unequal. And after the election of the year 2000, when the country was terribly divided, the court spoke and we accepted its ruling. The matter was resolved, and there was no rioting in the streets or other disruption. That presidential election tested our constitutional system in ways it had never been tested before. It is a big deal that we have a right to free speech and cannot be censored in what we say. So why am I telling you this? First, I want you to realize, as I have, that knowledge about our democracy and participation in it is very, very important, not only for us, but for our children and our children's children. For the threats to democracy are everywhere, and we must be vigilant to protect it. Second, I want to enlist your aid in doing something about it. When I became First Lady and undertook citizen learning as my primary initiative, I became a lead partner in the Pennsylvania Coalition for Representative Democracy, which we call PennCORD. We are uniquely positioned as a coalition of educational, advocacy, and governmental organizations committed to improving civic learning for students K through 12. Founding partners include the Pennsylvania Bar Association, the National Constitution Center, the Pennsylvania Department of Education, and the Governor's Office of the First Lady. Our goal is to encourage the creation of local civic learning policy to implement state standards in every school district by motivating community advocacy for better civic education and supporting educators across Pennsylvania with resources and training. Our goal is for every Pennsylvania school to prepare its students to understand and participate in their communities, society, and government. The easiest and most important thing we can do is to start educating our children early on as to the value of their citizenship. As they progress and mature, our children can understand concepts and realize that the rights of citizenship are accompanied by responsibilities of citizenship, and each of them has a role. In their later years, they can put the knowledge they have learned to work, discussing ideas and issues, engaging in discourse that will lead to participation. And the culmination of all this is, of course, the right and responsibility of voting, and having a greater understanding of the lifelong role as a citizen, which involves more than voting. It involves speaking out on issues and letting your views be known. To help teachers impart civic knowledge, Penn-Cord has identified what we call Keystone programs. Programs like Allentown School District's School Violence Prevention Demonstration Program, which focuses on basic values and desired behaviors, and dispute resolution programs, such as the Bar Association's Project Peace, and Project Citizen, developed by the Center for Civic Education, which is considered a model community service program because of its participatory nature. And studies have shown that there's a positive correlation between higher levels of classroom civic implementation and higher achievement levels on Pennsylvania standardized tests. Also, they bring about better student behavior as a result of fostering positive relationships and interactions with others. The programs allow for the mastering of comprehension, reading, and analytic skills, and reduce discipline problems that hinder not only the learning environment, but communities at large. Let's hear from teachers about the results and impact of some of these programs.
We saw this need about 8 years ago, and we wrote a course specifically for civic participation. But in the first 2 or 3 years that I was there, you could see that kids were kind of out of the element of the community and in the element of the high school itself. And so by putting them back in the element of the community in some ways, through community service, through other things that we do, I think you start to see kids grow.
Behavior has improved greatly with the children as far as respect, and not just to authority figures, but to each other. They understand their role in the building and in the community. We have noticed an increase in our academic scores, and they're saying that it is due to our social studies program. So I'm thrilled to hear that. I think the kids are a little more comfortable in the classroom because it doesn't feel as unfamiliar. They're kind of happy, and if you're happy, you know, things come easier to you.
Being a teacher at the school that I'm now principal, I get the opportunity to see my students come back, and they tell me, and they remember learning about those words in kindergarten and how it's helped them through their life.
In addition, our Pennsylvania Department of Education has put together a model curriculum framework for civics education, which will help Pennsylvania students better understand democracy and citizenship. This standards-aligned system creates curriculum framework, aligned instruction, and provides material and resources to assist educators in teaching about citizenship from K through high school. The public can view this voluntary model curriculum at www.pde.state.pa.us/SAS. You know, we all are happy when our children are proficient in key subjects like science, math, and English. These are the cornerstones of their education. But I would suggest to you that learning about our country, about the principles of our democracy, and learning that in order for a democracy to flourish, they must participate in it. These are the cornerstones for their life as a citizen. And building these cornerstones, one on top of another, lays the foundation for our country for years to come. I ask you to support the civic mission of our schools. And whether you're a parent, a teacher, an administrator, or an interested citizen, please go on our website, pencord.org and the website of the Department of Education and see what is available and encourage others to promote citizenship education for the benefit of all.